Let's make some noise. Come on.
Right indeed, Nick Foles. Yes. Let's make some noise. Welcome back, everybody, to another, I guess not these days so dependable episode of The Final Word here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. It's your boy, MattyB, on the call, and I am back. Sorry, did I do that? Listen, it's been a week. I'm not going to apologize for not being on the air. I'm not. I am, but I'm not. Life is a pain in the ass sometimes, right? And you got to do what you got to do. I'll inform you what I was into this week. It wasn't like life-threatening stuff. It just kind of hit hard. So I'm back tonight, and, again, I know it's not been the most routine of weeks. I came at you on Monday. Here I am on Thursday. Missed everything in between. And then on Sunday, I'm back on the road, so there'll be no episode on Sunday, no episode on Monday, no episode on Tuesday. I'll get you on Wednesday and Thursday right now. Right now. That's what we're going to be looking at for next week. But and then I had other shows on this network this week that also had some technical issues or some scheduling. I shouldn't say technical, but scheduling issues. So another light week. So I am sorry. From the bottom of my heart, I apologize for the for not being there for everybody this week, but I'm here tonight. So let's enjoy that, and let's revel in that. Let's enjoy our time together tonight, and let's finish up the week strong. Right? We started the week off pretty good. Let's finish it off strong. The hell would happen in between, but let's finish up the week. So it's great to be back, and yeah. So tonight, as I mentioned earlier, about 5 seconds ago, I'm going to be back on the road on Sunday, heading back down south to finish up another iteration of college baseball, which will take me to the beginning part of April. I'll be back then for about a week, and then back down south for about 2 weeks to wrap up the college baseball season for me. And then I come back home in like mid-April, and then I do the high school season here, most of the high school season here, and then on to what I do in the summertime. So it's been a hard week last week. As I was on the road then in places like Dayton, Tennessee, and Hoover, Alabama. In all, I did 10 games in about 3 days, 10 high-level games of competition in 10 days. I hit harder than I thought it was going to hit in terms of the physical toll it took on me and the time toll. So when I got home, and I had a window here for the week, I said, you know what? I'm going to take that window. I'm going to come home, kind of reset, and then head back out in the around March 8th, 9th. Got home and just crashed, man. Body was time to sleep. And that's basically what I've been doing all week. Also healing for some physical ailments that always occur early season, bumps and bruises type stuff, but nothing major. But and then I had some like internal things here with the way I umpire here. Some training requirements to knock out while I was home as well. So, again, no excuses, but life comes at you pretty hard. And then that pesky thing called a wife. She wanted to actually spend some time with me this week. I know. I agree. I fought it every way, every step of the way. And by the way, it's our, I guess it's our 5th year anniversary of meeting face to face. So happy anniversary, my love. I know I don't say it as much as I should, but you are the world to me, and I am what I am today because of you. So happy anniversary to Nina. But anyway, that's basically what I've been into over the last 2 weeks. So you got to cut me some slack, but we're going to get into some sports. We're going to talk some sports tonight. Yes. Bringing keep AJ Brown. I don't think they will. Lane Johnson's recruiting Max Crosby, or Lane Johnson with Max Crosby going to watch his Star Wars. We will get into and I said this on Monday. I will talk whatever you guys want to talk. I will discuss whatever you want to discuss. But the Eagles and the football part of my brain has now been turned off. I'm keeping an eye on things, of course, but I am moving on to bigger and better things. It's baseball season. I mean, we got the WBC. It's on. Tomorrow. You got Team USA, and you got all that going on. So I will talk football. But the Lane Johnson recruiting Max Crosby or Lane Johnson. Listen, He can recruit him all he wants. It's not like Max Crosby can say I'm going to Philadelphia. Max Crosby has no power in that. It's the Raiders trying to get a deal done. And if you think they're going to let Max Crosby step over here for pennies on the dime, sorry, you're just not living in the real world. Not to say that I wouldn't want that deal done, and I mocked the trade for that months ago. Today, right now, if I was Howie Roseman, thank God I'm not, but if I was, I would send A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts to the Raiders in exchange for Brock Bowers, Max Crosby, and the Raiders' #1 overall pick in this year's draft. I would do that move in a heartbeat, and it would be beneficial both to the Raiders and to me. It'd be franchise-altering to the Raiders, and it would also be franchise-altering to me here as the Eagles. But that's the kind of trade you're looking at to get a Max Crosby. That's the type of talent you're going to have to give up. And right now, the Eagles got too many holes on this roster because the talent's not coming off the roster. I don't think the Raiders go for an A.J. Brown without a quarterback. And I know they're probably going to draft Mendoza first overall. That's great, but that's an unproven commodity. A.J. needs to step into a situation where they're on the cusp of winning. We talked about this on Monday night. The Raiders are not that team right now, and they ain't going to be that team for a while. So I don't know if the Raiders would even be interested in A.J. Brown. Other than that, what other asset on the roster do the Eagles have that they can afford to get rid of? And as far as the draft picks go, Howie's already mismanaged a bunch of those draft picks in season, traded away 4 of them during the season for players that did not work out or players that are now free agents. They don't have that many left. There's too many holes on this team right now to give away any more of the draft assets this team has. I don't know how the Eagles get that trade done. I know that I would be on board with it, and it'd be a great move for them, but I just don't see how they get that deal done. Ricky is back. Yeah, I see Ricky Deal back on live. Ricky, how are you? It has been too long. We will open the phone lines, Ricky, and I will get you on first. That's done deal. That's no problem at all. Good to see you again, Ricky. Jesus, they pitched really well today. Phillies beat the Red Sox down there in Clearwater. Jesus Luzardo getting an opportunity. It was also nice to see a sequence in that game. Star Wars, I don't know if you watched it. 3rd inning. Phillies, I believe, had runners on first and second, I want to say, with 1 out. Justin Crawford hits the ball on the or maybe it was first and third with 1 out. Justin Crawford hits the ball on the second base side, drives the run in. They go to second, get the force on second. They try to go back to first to double up Crawford, but they can't because of Crawford's speed neutralizes the double play. Crawford gets the run batted in. That is what Justin Crawford and his massive ground ball rate brings to this team. And then they went on to score, I think, 2 more runs with the use of just singles and doubles and stuff like that. That inning, that 3rd inning for the Phillies today, go back and watch it if you can. The bottom of the 3rd. It's the type of baseball that I want to see this team play. That was small ball, and they scored, I think, 3 runs in that inning playing small ball. And that's what Justin Crawford brings to this team, the ability to ground out on the other side, to drive in a run, and then run out or beat out the double play. That's the Justin Crawford I'm looking for. That's exactly what I want, and that's exactly what I saw today. So offensively, it was good to see the Phillies doing that. And then, as you mentioned, Jesus Luzardo pitched really well as well. So, yeah, good stuff all around. Ricky Deal, yes, Ricky, you're back. Good to see you. Good. I can't wait to talk to you. Kyle Schwarber on his 33rd birthday today spoke to the media after Team USA's workout. USA starts playing in the WBC tomorrow against Brazil. Yeah, they do. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock on FS1. And I don't know, I believe Logan Webb is getting the nod for Team USA in the opener. Brazil has not yet announced the starter as far as I know. But there's a good chance, folks, or maybe there's not. I don't know if you do this to the kid, but in my games last week that I was down in Alabama working, I worked a perfect game baseball tournament. Perfect Game is the premier high school, I don't want to call it scouting. It's not a scout, but it's like a filter to where you can get teams that have the best high school players in the country, and they play each other on a national scale. They get a lot of exposure through Perfect Game, and then a lot of scouts come and watch their games. And I had the privilege, unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize that I was going to have this. I actually had this team last year in a tournament down there, and I remember the father and the son actually, but Jose Contreras, who's the former pitcher for the Yankees and the Mets, is a pitching coach for for Trinity High School in Georgia. And his son, Joseph, is a 17-year-old senior who pitches for the team. He pitched the game that I worked on Friday. It was last Friday. And they had a bunch of scouts on hand watching him. They were scouting him pretty hard. And he went 7 innings, 92 pitches. And it was a great game. Trinity lost 2-1 in extras on a walk-off play at the plate. That, of course, I called the guy safe. Yes. It was good. Just a great game. One of those games that makes you feel alive. And Joseph Contreras, the number 1 ranked pitcher in the state of Georgia, a projected first, second, or third round pick in this year's MLB draft, a Vanderbilt commit if he doesn't go high enough in the draft, and has also been picked up and is pitching for Team Brazil in the WBC. I don't know if they throw him out there against Team USA on the opener. I don't know. I doubt they're going to start him, but maybe he makes a bullpen appearance against Team USA. Maybe he does not. I don't think that's the way you indoctrinate a 17-year-old kid into professional baseball, by making him face murderer's row in any capacity. But or maybe you do. Maybe you see if you got the stones, because obviously pitching is a lot more mental than anything else. This kid had a nasty fastball, 94, 96 miles an hour. He had decent off-speed stuff, about an 82-mile-an-hour curveball, 85-mile-an-hour slider. The gun was right behind my head the whole game. And then I've watched the game since on their Facebook. You can actually go see it on Facebook. Perfect Game USA on Twitter. And then search from the game down in Hoover last Friday. It's a broadcast of 3 games, and all 3 of the games I'm on the plate for the first 2, and then the bases for the second one. But go ahead and you can watch me in action down there as an umpire. But he had about an 82-mile-an-hour curveball, 85-mile-an-hour slider, but everything he threw was up. Everything was up there. The fastball was up, fast but up. His curveball, I mean, he was painting corners, but there was nothing extra special about the curveball. The speed of it was great, but it didn't break as much as I think he has to break at the major league level. But he's 17 and definitely has the tools, and definitely will have a future in Major League Baseball. But it's going to be interesting to see if they hurt him out against Team USA, or when they hurt him out at all during the tournament. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Phillies home opener is 3 weeks from today. What do we think? Jacob DeGrom versus Chris Sanchez? Is that when everyone's putting their money on? And I saw John Kruk back in the booth. Yeah, thank God no Ben Davis. But anyway, we're gonna talk Phillies. We're gonna talk Flyers tonight, because we got Flyers hockey happening as we speak. It's 2-0 still. Yeah, 2-0 with about 10 minutes to go in this game. Immediately following the Flyers game at some point on this network, I like that, immediately following the Flyers game at some point. Clear the Ice will be seen in its entirety tonight. Mike Lauro will have the call. I'll be back at you on Saturday night for the Penguins game. So we'll be breaking Flyers Mammoth down tonight, immediately following the game. This is also the schedule for the rest of the week here on the network. Nothing tomorrow. Big Al's going to have to take the night off for a personal obligation. This is our stuff on Saturday. Don't forget the Gridiron Weekly Report, moving to its new date and time, Saturdays at 9 a.m., starting this Saturday morning. Then we'll do the best of the week of It's a Wrap Sports, what we do have. And then I'll finish it up against some Flyers and Penguins, Clear the Ice. Tomorrow, on Sunday, it's the Philly AM Sports Show. No final word. I will not be on the air Sunday night this week. Unfortunately, I got to drive. So that is our schedule for the rest of the week. So tonight we are going to talk Flyers, because we got trade deadline happening. Yeah, the Flyers are about, about 16 hours away from the trade deadline in the NHL. Are they buyers? Are they sellers? Who's going? Who's coming? We'll get into some of that. The Phillies spring trading rolls on. The big time stars are now with Team USA and team wherever else in the world that they're at. Now it's an opportunity for some young players to show what they have. Aiden Miller now is feared to be gone for the rest of spring training as he's dealing with, now they're classifying it as a back injury. No more lower body. We're talking back injury. So what repercussions does that have on Aiden Miller's development? We'll get into that. The Eagles, yes, they are in the conversation. The A.J. Brown drama. Free agency is looming. Trades are happening in the NFL. Draft is coming. But again, as I said, I turned my football brain off. But if you guys want to talk Eagles, I'll talk Eagles with you. They also announced today the Hall of Fame game participants. I believe it's going to be Arizona and somebody. If anybody else remembers who that second team was, I know Arizona's doing it, and it's a scrub game, man. It's a game that no one would ever want to watch. But I know Arizona's one of the teams. I would have to say that the other team is out of the AFC at some point. So Hall of Fame game was announced in Canton, Ohio this year. So we'll get into some of that. We have your day in Philadelphia sports history. We have your card of the night returns. That's right. The card of the night returns. And your of the night segment. That all returns tonight, as well as we will open the phone lines momentarily. So we got you covered tonight. Again, better late than never for me this week. I'm sorry that I was not around as much as I was supposed to be. But I'm here tonight, goddamn. So let's get it strapped in, strapped on, strapped up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times. Let's get going with your day in Philadelphia sports history. Today, 2009, the Harlem Globetrotters. You guys remember the Harlem Globetrotters? I certainly do. Adding to their tremendous legacy, played their final game on the Wachovia Spectrum. That's right. They played on it. That's right. You didn't hear that right. I said on it. On this day, the near century-old basketball entertainment franchise played on the rooftop, an exhibition game against their arch nemesis, the Washington Generals. The rivalry's first game at the site was inside the Spectrum in 1967, the Spectrum's first year of existence. And I guess they kind of capped it all off in 2009, this time playing on the roof against the Washington Generals. I think, aren't the Harlem Globetrotters like back? Aren't they doing something similar? And of course, you got the Savannah Bananas in baseball. I never really went in for that kind of thing. I know, listen, some of that, and there was a time back in the 50s that the Globetrotters were a real team. They were an actual basketball team. They weren't what they became in terms of showcasing, but they were an actual team. But I remember going to the Globetrotters when I was a kid and watching it. It was amazing. And of course, they would beat up on the Washington Generals in every game. But on this day back in 2009, they played their final appearance at the Spectrum on the roof against the Washington Generals. And that was your day in Philadelphia sports history, brought to you by the fine folks of the It's a Wrap Sports Network, purveyors of such quality programming as the Gridiron Weekly Report, moving to its new date and time, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. starting this week. Join the guys as they will break down everything NFL and everything NCAA on the Gridiron. Make sure you're there on their new day, Saturday, and their new time, 9 a.m. And there you have it. So Gridiron Weekly moving to Saturday mornings. And this show is getting ready to move again. We will be moving to 10 o'clock, or I should say moving back to 10 p.m. at the end of the month. Probably around the 22nd is when I'm going to move the show back to 10 p.m. That's our summer broadcasting hours. And that's a beautiful thing to be doing that. Of course, ahead of the Philly season that will start on the 26th. We'll be moving the program back to 10 p.m. Sundays through Thursdays as we get ready for the summer. And then, of course, also with the Philly season approaching, that the Fightins final is close. We will be doing our 2026 Phillies Fightins final season preview show around that 22nd time frame. Stay tuned for more information about that. I got to cross some I's and dot some T's on that. But we're going to we'll quickly get that thing ready for you to go as it's coming, man. Star Wars mentioned 3 weeks from today, 21 days from today, the home opener and season opener of the 2026 Phillies. Thank God it's here. Let's pray for a long 2026 baseball season for the Phillies and for everybody else, the minor leagues. Now, I was thinking about this today. College baseball is in full swing. Spring training is in full swing. WBC is starting up. And we have not yet even scratched the surface on the baseball season, right? We still haven't gotten to the regular season. We still haven't gotten the minor leagues going. We still haven't gotten some of the collegiate summer leagues once the college season's over. I mean, they haven't even started conference play in college baseball yet. So, we're just scratching the surface of a very long baseball season. And thank God it's back. I missed you. And I'm glad everything is right in the world, at least tonight, as we get ready for baseball. So let's get with baseball in mind. Let's break the ice here tonight with the Phillies. Let's start talking Phillies. Some of the conversations, some of the things surrounding this team as we are now, I guess, week 2 into spring training for the Phillies. And by the way, the phone lines day is open. The link is now in your chat rooms. Please, you know the drill. Just click on the link. The link will bring you backstage. And from there, you guys can hop on and be part of this show in a one-on-one capacity. And for some odd reason, it's only showing up in YouTube. Let me see. Let me try it again. Don't know why that's working like that. Let's try this again. So I dropped it again. And once again, it's only showing up in YouTube. So, there we go. There it is. There it is. It's showing up now. But yeah, the link is out there. So jump on and be part of the program tonight. Phillies conversations, again, with the superstars sort of heading out to points unknown around the world. By the way, I don't know if anybody stayed up late last night to watch Korea and Australia, which was actually not a bad game. To start off the WBC schedule. It was 3-0. Australia won. And then this morning, if any of you got up early to watch, it was last night was Australia and Chinese Taipei. What am I talking about? This morning was Korea all over Chechnya, 11-4. And then a little bit later on tonight, in about a half hour, you're going to have Australia versus Chechnya on FS1. So we're already off and running. Of course, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, the highlight of a full schedule of the WBC schedule that will start tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., 5, 11, 12, 1, 6, 7, 8, and 10 tomorrow all day. You're going to have WBC action. Team USA will battle Brazil at 8 o'clock on Fox, not FS1, but on Fox. Logan Webb will get the start for Team USA, and Team Brazil has yet to announce their starter. Be on the lookout for Joseph Contreras. You heard that name here. And then on Saturday, USA will go back-to-back as they will play Great Britain at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Tariq Skubal will get the nod for Team USA in that game. So we're ready to go. We're all in right now, and it's a great time. So let's get to the phones, and let's bring back in person that's been gone way too long, Ricky Deal. I don't even know where to start with you, Ricky. First and foremost, how are you doing, man?
I am good.
I'm glad to hear that, Ricky. And from the bottom of my heart, and from the bottom of all the people that make this network go and all the contributors to this network, I want to express to you that we're glad that you're back and that we're glad that you're feeling better. And this place was just not the same without you. Awkward pause. All right, Ricky, what's on your mind, man? What's that? Wrestling. Ricky. Man, I don't talk about wrestling. When Mike Lauro's on, you know who Mike Lauro is, right, Ricky? He hosts a lot of our post-game stuff. Sunday mornings at 9 on the AM Philly Sports Show. Jump on there and ask Michael Arlson. Ricky, I don't know a damn thing about wrestling, man. Unless it's a female mud wrestling, then I can talk about that all night long. But other than that, man, I don't know jack about wrestling. You want to talk Phillies, Ricky? How's that? That's a topic we can agree on. Talk Phillies. Ricky Deal, Phillies. Johan Rojas, 80-game suspension pending. He's appealing it. Are the Phillies worse off with does a possible 80-game suspension to Johan Rojas, does that derail the Phillies season? It does? Ricky, I don't see that at all. I could care less if he got suspended for 80 games. I could care less if he got suspended for 162 games. Matter of fact, a suspension to Johan Rojas makes it easier for the Phillies. Then we don't have to worry. Get your butt out of here. Justin Crawford, Otto Kemp. There's my platoon in the outfield, right? And then I got Gabriel Raconis Jr., who does not play center field. But I got him down there in AAA, who could potentially have a clearer path to this baseball team without Johan Rojas' dumb butt being in the way. Ricky, I disagree with you. I don't think that makes things – I think it makes it easier for the Phillies. Let's talk some Flyers, Ricky. Buyers or sellers? Should the Flyers be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline?
Buyer.
Ricky, that's going to be a conversation we're going to get into a little bit later on tonight. It's an interesting conversation because I can see the argument for both sides. But as far as I'm concerned, it has to be sellers. And we'll get into it later on. But I definitely can see the argument with the way the season has sort of kind of been rejuvenated since the Olympic break. It ain't looking good tonight, but it's 3-0 now. But up to this point, it looked pretty promising. But I don't know, Ricky. I'm just not ready to part with assets to add on to this group. I'd rather bring more assets and get rid of some of this group. I don't know. It's a weird situation, but we'll get into it later on. Ricky Deal, again, from the bottom of my heart, brother. Welcome back. You scared us, Ricky. I ain't gonna lie, you scared us. And Joe Hale, who I'm gonna bring on next, was the one filling us all with information, making sure that we knew what was going on with you. So when you see Joe, please thank him, for being that sort of liaison between you and me, and I really appreciated Joe for that. So, welcome back, Ricky, and don't scare us again. You hear me? You understand? All right, brother. We'll talk next week. All right, man. All right, my man, Ricky Deal. Good to see him back, man. Good to see him back. I disagree, man. How can anybody sit there and say Johan Rojas could potentially derail the Phillies? I think it makes it easier. One less person to have to worry about. One less goddamn person. All right, let's go back to the phones. And the aforementioned Joe Hale. Joe, I asked Ricky Deal this.
I heard it.
Okay, let me. Does Johan Rojas derail this team's plans for a World Series if he gets suspended?
Fuck no.
There's no way, man.
Get him off the team. Well, who is it? Nobody's talking about Profar again getting suspended from Atlanta.
The whole season. That's huge. 162 and no playoffs. That is huge. Huge news that Jackson Profar got suspended.
But I want to tell everybody. I told MattyB, Al 2 weeks. I'm meeting Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Should I say something?
Are you driving him to the airport?
No, I got invited for Special Olympics to go in the locker room and meet the whole team.
Tell him to check out the It's a Rap Sports Network, Joe.
Shut I'm fine for that.
No, you won't. No, you won't, man. It's a free system, man. It's an open society. You tell people what you want to tell them.
I'll be in the crowd. That's when you do it.
So you're I got to get cards made. I got to get T-shirts done. I'm behind the power curve and all that stuff. That's coming. The general manager and me have been talking about it. It's coming. But
yes.
so let's talk a little bit about Sixers, Joe. What we got here? What let's. I know you're all into the Sixers. Maxey did set the record, right? Franchise all-time 3-point leader. Past Allen Iverson, which was interesting, but Allen Iverson did not grow up in the era of the three-pointer, right? Do you think if Allen Iverson was playing today, he would be the 3-point champion of the Sixers?
No.
You think Maxey's a better shooter than Iverson?
Yes. So coming out of college, Max, his critique was he couldn't shoot the three. That's why he was drafted low, real low, like 26th pick in the first round. Everybody said he can't shoot, he can't pass, he's not going to be an all-star. Now look at him.
Yeah, all-time 3-point leader of the franchise. And then what about the VJ Edgecombe injury? Does that derail the Sixers postseason plans?
Because he's only out a week.
Okay. Well, Paul George is still out, and Joel Embiid's out.
You get Paul George back in 2 weeks. March
25th?
A rejuvenate. Yes, that's the game I'm going to. That's against Chicago.
So, all right, with this being said, then does Paul George have no more excuses to sit any more games? He shouldn't be hurt. He shouldn't be tired. They should ride him like a mule into the playoffs, right?
Right.
Okay.
Embiid's back on Saturday.
This time, then he'll be out whenever the next game is. Come on, Joe. You ain't gonna be able to sell me on that. You can't count on Joel Embiid.
Okay, Pat Bernard. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm calling.
I don't know how to take that. I don't know if you're trying to insult me or not, but
no.
I don't have no faith in Joel Embiid. Now, are the Sixers playing possum with him? Is this precautionary to get to the playoffs? And then all of a sudden they're going to unleash Joel Embiid? Maybe, yeah. But proof's in the pudding. I want to see that.
Who scares me? And they shouldn't. Boston Celtics.
Didn't Tatum's out, right? Isn't he going for the year?
No, he's back today.
So he's back today. Oh wow.
Today or tomorrow.
Okay.
I want to talk. Ricky said about about wrestling. No, that was funny. Ricky's a big fan. I think the Flyers should be sellers, but I wouldn't sell Minchkoff. I can tell you why. Let him develop in Philly. Don't trade an asset away. I'm okay for trading Tippett and Konechny and get the bum Coots out of here too.
Yeah, listen. I'm not sold on Minchkoff, but I'm not trading Minchkoff at the deadline. Minchkoff's a summer trade when you can really milk a team and get a fair value for him. Right now, it's almost sort of like you got to throw something together. But no, I'm not sold on Minchkoff, but I do agree with the Konechny stuff. I do. I guess Ristolainen's a big name. Bobby Brink's name has been mentioned. Any one of them, honestly, I don't really care.
I would say Bobby Brink's untouchable.
He's been linked to Tampa. He's been linked to the Lightning, so I'd be all on board for that.
Danny B put out a tweet during the Flyers game. He wants
I quit. Say I quit. Was that the tweet?
He wants a first-round pick for Ristani. Does he get it?
For who?
The defensive man.
For Risto?
Yes.
No. Unless Chuck Fletcher's the other general manager, then yes. Other than that, no.
Or does he remember, if the Eagles keep AJ Brown, I get to host the show for a week.
Yeah, but week one. If he's in the starting lineup for the Eagles on week one, he steps out on the field on week one. As soon as his cleat hits the grass wearing midnight green, you can host the show for a week.
If it happens, I want to co-host. Can I get it?
Can you co-host?
I want to co-host with me.
You want to bring a co-host?
Yes. Can I tell you who?
Who?
Michael Papernick.
Yeah, you mentioned that the other night. Yeah, I don't care. It's your dime, man. You'll do what you got to do. But yes, that bet is standing. I will let you host this show for 1 week if AJ Brown's an Eagle on week 1.
I think he's going to be an Eagle. I don't think. I like the trade that the Bears gave up.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent trade.
It was a 4th-round pick, though. It wasn't a first.
No, I know.
And
they just signed that guy too last year, right? So he's got a brand new contract. So he's got some wealth there.
AJ Brown's not going in the deal. You know that, right?
I did. I saw that.
I heard it's going to be Nolan Smith and an Eagles 1st-round pick.
For who?
Max Crosby.
Then the Raiders don't deserve to be a franchise in the NFL. If they accept that trade, the Raiders don't deserve to be a franchise in the NHL, in the NFL, or the NHL.
I mean NFL.
Well, they don't. My point is, they don't deserve to be a franchise anywhere in any sports league. They accept a deal to bring send Max Crosby to Philadelphia for Nolan Smith and our number 23 overall 1st-round draft pick. That is a completely lopsided trade. And how we can pull that off, great on him.
I also heard that Dallas Goedert would be part of that deal too.
If they re-sign him, because he's a free agent as of right now.
So about that, the Eagles, if he signs with somebody else, the Eagles, it's like a dead money cap thing hit. I heard about that.
He's a UFA. I don't know about that. I have to look that up.
Who was it? They were talking about it on ESPN today.
I think I did hear something about dead cap, but I don't know how. I don't know how it could be dead money if he's no longer tied to the team. I mean, it is dead money. They don't owe him any. They've paid him. He's unrestricted. He's been paid up. He can do what he wants. I don't know why that would go against their cap.
I want him back on a cheap 1-year deal.
Goddard?
Got it, yes. And you go.
Goddard's not going to take a 1-year deal. He's not going to, because Goddard knows his body, he knows himself, he knows he's getting older. He wants to get one last payday and he ride it out with somebody else. He's not going to take a 1-year deal. The Eagles would be good to franchise him. I don't know why we don't use the franchise tag. Why is the Philadelphia Eagles not use the franchise tag? Why not franchise Goddard for 1 more year? Draft his replacement, franchise him.
They said that Oregon tight end is going to fall in the draft.
Well, again, the Oregon tight end, whoever, draft whoever that replacement will be, keep Goddard for 1 more year, and then let him go next year. I don't know what the hell the problem is with the franchise tag. We don't use it.
I think you bring in Zach Ertz.
I've heard his name mentioned as a number 3, and you mentioned it the other night. I would be 100% on board with a Zach Ertz and a young tight end. There's got to be a young tight end, too. I got to have a high-pick tight end to groom him or to work with him.
Cleveland's tight end being rumored to come here. David, the David guy.
I've heard that. I've heard that name. I've heard that name.
The Eagles signing the Saints safety as Blankenship, Seahawks safety as Blankenship's replacement. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not a big Reed Blankenship guy. Never have been. Good luck in Dallas or wherever he goes, along with Nakobe Dean.
Yeah, Nakobe goes to the Cowboys.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. All right, Joe. Listen, what else, man? I gotta move it on here.
Go ahead. I will.
All right, man. We'll talk next week. All right.
Wednesday.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I got you.
All right, Joe. Try not to cry. God, man. Make me feel bad. Worse than I already feel. All right, so I think it's final. 3-0. Flyers have fallen to the Utah Mammoth. Mike Laro is going to have the pleasure of doing the post game here in a minute. So, Mike, was it as bad as I was watching updates? I was not watching the game. Was it as bad as the score indicated?
Yeah, it was. No shots, man. No shots. Like, this offense just disappeared. Like, didn't come tonight. Also, Vanacek, you got to take your cap off to him. He made quite a few hella saves tonight for Utah. But the 2 goals Vladar gave up, I mean, one was Mitchkov's fault. He didn't pick the guy up coming into the zone. Let the guy literally go right by him and score. The other one was down the right on kind of in the zone pass. And again, I want to say it was Sanheim who didn't get over to his guy fast enough. But the guy
say it ain't so. Travis Sanheim was behind the play. Oh, yeah. What's going on?
To be honest with you, like, please, let's just send everybody away that we can send away tomorrow, please.
So you're no, for real. Are you a seller? Is that what you're settling on?
Everybody's got a price, dude. Everybody's got a price.
I agree.
Get them out. I think Tippett's going tomorrow. I think Ristolainen's going tomorrow. It's funny. They were kind of bringing it up on the broadcast tonight of how many players around the NHL that are being sat tonight. And the Flyers, I'm telling you now, they missed a golden opportunity tonight. Pittsburgh's getting smoked right about now. Boston's losing. They had a really good opportunity to really kind of pull themselves up in this Eastern Conference tonight, and they just were so lackluster. It was like, And for as much as I gave credit, I know you were probably wincing at this when I said this on Saturday. For as much juice the building had on Saturday for that Boston game, it was a funeral in there tonight. I mean, and here's the thing, Matty. No scoring until the second period. So it wasn't like they were down early. They were in the game real after the first period. There was no juice in that building tonight. But the way the Flyers played, I guess it would be kind of hard to have juice because they weren't mustering enough shots. And I didn't see a lot of bodies in front of Vanacek. He had a lot of easy saves. He did have some good ones. I'm not going to lie. He did stop Brink on a shot. Had a kind of a 2-on-1 where he slid from one side to the other to make a save. So the Flyers did have a couple chances in this game, but not as many as Utah. If it wasn't for Vladar, this game would have been 6-0.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, look, and I know we have 20 games or 19 games left or whatever, 21 games left in the season. And I know there's going to be plenty of time to do the postmortem. And I know there's a lot of things that are going to happen between now and then. And I really don't feel that this team is taking that big enough steps. I really don't. It seems they've sort of bottomed out at this type of team over the last 2 seasons. That'll keep you interested, keep you in the season, and then at the end, they just don't have enough. They get worn down, and they just don't have enough. And that's been what the Flyers have been for me for the last couple of years. And to sit here at this point and say, we got to buy and we got to make a push to get into the playoffs. That's the wrong idea. They got 5 draft picks. That's all they got this year. They can't be giving up anymore in order to make a push for the playoffs. They got to add to that. I just don't see it. And I know me and Ricky talked about it briefly. I don't see a pathway to being a buyer. I don't. I think it's a ridiculous thing to do. They got to sell. And the players you mentioned are all definitely on that list. I mean, everybody, honestly, everybody is open, in my opinion, for the right deal. But the Michkov thing might not be a good deal at this time. I would sit back in the summer, though, and look at potential options with him. But there's just no way anyone's going to talk me into they got to buy. They're light years away from being a cup contender.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're not close. I mean, I thought they kind of turned the corner, Matty, honestly, earlier this week, leading to the end of last week, because to me, I saw them beating teams that really had our number. If you look over the last few seasons, they didn't beat the Rangers. They didn't beat Boston. And Toronto's been a house of horrors for us. No matter when we played them, they've always beaten us. So I kind of thought they were kind of turning the corner, but then they come out and play as flat as they played tonight. Like, you got to look around, and something's got to get, something's got to shake up that room. Now, interesting thing. I don't know if you saw. I saw a tweet earlier today with Frank Saravelli, talking about maybe a possible reunion with Scott Lawton. Am I missing something here? Am I missing something with that? Because I'm like, it took us forever and a day to get him out of here, and we're not going to bring him back a year later. Like, I missed something with that. I actually texted him back. I actually tweeted back at him on X and was like, same thing I just said. Am I missing something? It took us forever to get him out of here. he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to be traded. I'm like, no, I don't want to be stuck with a Scott Lawton. Scott Lawton was okay. He's an okay player, but it's not somebody I want at a trade deadline.
It doesn't fit the timeline of the team. Doesn't fit the current team right now. No, Scott Lawton was expendable. Yeah, that'd be terrible to bring him back. Any of them.
And
bring any of those guys back.
And did I hear you right? You and Joe Hale made a bet that if A.J. Brown steps on the field week 1, that he's
as an Eagle,
you're going to let him host the show
for a week,
buddy. I'm kind of on the fence with that, and I hear me out for a second on that one. Do I think they can trade him? Yes. I think what's holding them up is that $40 million in dead cap space,
which messes things up, especially if you want to try to get better leverage in the draft. I get that.
And that's the only thing that if that wasn't kind of hindering over the Birds, I might think that you might be right on this one, because there is definitely offers coming. And I think was it DJ Moore going to the Bills now? It kind of leaves, New England kind of capped. I think they're going to have to pay what the Eagles want for A.J. Brown, or they're not going to move him. I think it's only New England.
I think New England or Buffalo, one of those two. He's going to the AFC East.
No, Buffalo went and got DJ. They went and got DJ Moore today. I don't think they're going to try. I don't think
they're tired of hearing about the Josh Allen has no weapons. They're going to make a push for A.J. Brown. That's my opinion.
Oh, all right. I mean, I could see that. I mean, then he goes from having no weapons on the outside to having two.
Yeah.
So, but a sleeper in that A.J. Brown sweepstakes. Look out for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens as well. I think
team, yeah.
I think they're hot on it. And Joe was bringing up the kid Sadiq, who is the tight end out of Oregon.
Yep.
Yeah, the kid had the fastest 40 time for a tight end ever at this combine. If anything, his stock didn't drop; it went up. He will not be there at 23 for the Eagles.
You don't think he's going to be there at 23?
No, I do not. I actually,
the Giants grab him at 2.
No, I don't think he goes that high. I think he goes mid-teens.
You don't think the Giants grab something for Dart there?
No, I think if they're going to grab something for Dart, they're going to go after Cornell Tate, to go along with, because they lost they're losing Wendell Robinson.
Yep.
Which is their other wide receiver. So they're going to go and get Tate from Ohio State to match up and bring in with Neighbors. So, and they already signed. They have a run. They have the young running back in Tracy right there, and they got 2 really good young tight ends up there. So Dart will be okay. I think that's where they're going to go for that round. I did drop my mock, my latest mock on Sunday. I did have Sadiq coming to the Eagles, but that was before his kind of like his draft stock kind of shot out the water. So,
well, listen, send those mock drafts to me so I can put them up on the It's a Wrap Sports stuff.
You got it. As a matter of fact, I think it was up in here. I did put it up in here, not under yours, but I put it up under ours and our page.
Well, yeah, send it to me and I'll put it up there. All right, Mike, I'll let you go. Get over there and knock this. Take care of the funeral party and.
It's going to be a hard 20 minutes, man. I don't know how much people are going to be commenting on a 3-0 loss.
Well, listen, everybody, get over there and check out Mike Laro hosting the Clear the Ice show, and then Sundays at 9 for the AM Philly Sports Show. All right, Mike, we'll talk, man.
All right, man. You too, man. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Yep. Mike Laro. Yeah, Flyers lose 3-0, and I guess it's a good segue. We really didn't finish. Let me finish my Phillies point before we move on. MP checking in, says Flyers can't buy a goal. Sell. Mitchkoff is 21. Can't give him up on him yet. All right, listen, MP. We'll transition to the Flyers. That's fine. Giving up on Matt V. Mitchkoff. Okay, that's definitely the flavor of a lot of Flyers fans out there. Now, I think the first thing we need to establish is, what is Matt V. Mitchkoff's ceiling? Is Matt V. Mitchkoff the player we drafted at, was it 6 overall, 5th overall when he got picked? Is he that guy? Is he a number 1, a top, not top 6, but a first line forward in the future of his NFL? Is he a player you build around? Or is he a player that you bring in to something else and add to? Because that's what the question with me and MattyB Michkov is. If MattyB Michkov is a player that you build around, then certainly you don't give up on that. 100%. I haven't seen that in 2 years of MattyB Michkov. I have not. I have not seen that type of play from him. There's been too much outside noise on character issues with MattyB Michkov. You're never going to sell me on the fact that the kid comes in at the training camp out of shape, that's a quality of a leader and a quality of a player who wants to be the best that he can be at this league. That's a character problem that's not indicative to his time here in Philadelphia. It's a problem that he had in Russia. Okay? Am I saying he's a bust in the NHL? Not necessarily as a bust of the NHL. Is he a bust as a franchise-altering player? I say he is. He is not a player that I am going to build a team around. He's a player that I'm going to bring in and add to what I've already have. And the problem is we are on the other side of that. We don't have that foundation yet to where a MattyB Michkov would be maximally used. We don't. We need the player that you build around. And MattyB Michkov's not that guy. And that's unfortunate. Does he have a 25 goal per season pedigree? Yeah. Yeah. But is he going to pick up a franchise and put him on his back and say, come on, boys, put my statue next to Eric Lindros, next to Bobby Clark. Put my statue next to those guys because I'm the next face of this franchise. I am the next guy here. No, he's not. And I can make that claim pretty clearly after year 2 of what I've seen from him, both on and off the ice. So giving up on MattyB Michkov, I don't look at it at that. I look at it as maximizing our ability to get this team better through addition, through subtraction. MattyB Michkov is certainly on the table to be traded. Again, maybe not now, not at the deadline. I just don't think you're going to get max value for him at this time. Probably he's more of a summer kind of guy that you would trade him. But to sit here and try to tell me that not to give up on him, it ain't about me giving up on him. I think he's giving up on him. He's not a franchise-altering player. He's not a franchise player. He's a good piece to put on a team that's already got a foundation. We don't have a foundation here. And he's not a foundation. So just by that, if we would have picked up MattyB Michkov in the 3rd round, 4th round, yeah, okay, let's roll. But he is the type of draft capital that we used on him will now go on to the bonfire of just wasted draft picks. Another bust as a 1st overall or 1st round overall. Was he 6th overall? Something like that. 5th overall. So yeah, that's where I'm going to stay with that. And this is what the problem with the Flyers is. And this is the issue with the rebuild, especially at the NHL level. You're not building a champion in the NHL through free agents. That's just not how the league is set up. You build through drafting. You build through drafting and trades. That's how you build a champion in the NHL. Probably more so drafting than any other league in this sports landscape that we live on. You have to draft well in the NHL. You have to. And the Flyers haven't when it really counted. And that's why this rebuild is stuck in this friggin' neutral area where we're not able to take, a half step forward, 1 step back, that kind of thing. This team is no different than the team that walked off the ice last year. And they're no different than the team that walked off the ice 2 years ago in terms of opponent, quality opponent. They're the same team. And it's just not worked. We've jettisoned some players that weren't part of the future already, and there's more to come. Travis Konechny needs to be moved. if not at the deadline. I know he's dealing with some injuries. He needs to be moved in the summer. Ristolainen needs to go. Sanheim needs to go. I mean, the list goes on and on. And if Danny B really wants to jumpstart this thing, and right now, this thing is not – the Flyers – let this sink in for a second. The Flyers are on the verge of missing the playoffs for the 6th straight year. They've never missed the playoffs 6 straight years in their franchise history. This could be a record-setting season of futility in Philadelphia. Let that sink in for a second. 6 years of not making the playoffs. And then what was that? Before that, it was like, they had that one little run in 20 where they kind of caught lightning in the bottle, ran all the way to the Eastern Conference semis in the bubble. But before that, it was, they would sneak in on the last day of the year and they get bounced out in the first round under Dave Hackstall. Remember those years? This has been a terrible, terrible time in the history of this franchise. And I don't see it getting any better any sooner, any quicker, unless Danny B really jumps into the pot and says, you know what? I'm gonna mix it up. I'm going broke. I'm going John LeClair trade. I'm moving, a Mark Recchi, or I'm going like that kind of trade. And that's the type of trade this team needs, if anything, to change the direction of this slugfest that we're in, and when it comes to this rebuild. I'm not saying this team is one mega trade away from being good. I'm not. But I think they're one mega trade away from actually getting this rebuild started. This rebuild, in my opinion, honestly, has not even begun yet, because they're dinking and dunking around. They're trying to find out what they have internally, which is fine. But now it's time to pull the trigger on a big one, a franchise-altering trade. Multiple players for multiple players and assets. It's time to do something like that. And if Danny B does not do that, I should say, until he does that, this is the team you're going to have next year, year after that, until he does something like that. He's got to get that mega trade worked out at some point. It's got to happen. He's got to drop a grenade inside that clubhouse or locker room and make a big trade, make a big splash. Multiple players, 3-4 players for like 5 or 6. Until they do that, this is what the season's going to be. And with free agency the way it is in the NHL, honestly, they just upped the cap in season, took off some of the top center free agents that were out there. Connor McDavid signed the 2-year extension with Edmonton back in October. He was never going to get the free agency anyway, but, signed that 2-year extension. Jack Eichel signs the 8-year mega deal with Vegas, taking him off the board. The Flyers have no pivot room. They got a bunch of cap room, but nowhere to spend it because there's no players out there. It's got to come from a mega trade. Danny B's got to sit down and do the big one. He's got to. If he doesn't, this is the type of Flyers hockey you're going to watch from now until to be determined. Ricky wants to host live. Ricky, I tell you what, man. I just can't hand over the show. I made a bet with Joe Hale, and I'm a man of my word. If A.J. Brown is an Eagle on week 1, I will allow Joe Hale to host the show for a week. If he wants to bring you on as a co-host, that's up to Joe Hale. All right, I'm going to let him take the reins for this show. So talk to Joe about that. Put it on Joe. The Ravens, and listen, and AJ, and that makes sense, right? AJ Brown only makes sense to a handful of teams. He doesn't make sense to the Raiders. He doesn't make sense to the Browns. He doesn't make sense, to the Cardinals. He only makes sense to those teams that are right there on the edge, right there up there at the top, about to bust through. The Ravens, the Patriots, the Bills, the Seahawks, the Rams. Who else? The Chiefs. Imagine AJ Brown playing for Andy Reid. The Chiefs. The Broncos. Teams like that. is where A.J. Brown makes sense. And it has to be in short spurts. You can't sign A.J. Brown to a 7-year contract. You can't deal with that for 7 years. 2 years, I think A.J.'s got about a 2-year, maybe a 3-year shelf life before you should move on from him. And I firmly believe the Eagles are going to move on. I firmly believe, because I don't think Howie is going to be able to squeeze Jeffrey Lurie and get any more dimes to fall out of him than he can this year. I think the Eagles are up against it. They're going to have to make a move. Now, whether or not it's pre-draft or post-June 1st, I don't know. I don't know how desperate they're going to be. But does somebody come in on day one of the draft and have a mega offer involving multiple picks, a first, a second, couple firsts, couple seconds, something like that? And does that make Howie be like, you know what? Friggin' dead cat be damned. I'm making that move. I just don't think the Eagles, and also the other part of this, I don't think the Eagles want to deal with another year of A.J. Brown. The Eagles have decided to go a whole other way with the offensive coaching staff. A whole bunch of young up-and-comers, next best thingers. And I don't know if they really want to put A.J. Brown, or they want to put their coaches, I should say, in the crosshairs of A.J. Brown. It's going to be hard enough to get through the blockhead of Jalen Hurts in order to get him to actually be a quarterback. Then you're going to throw in the divaness of A.J. Brown. I don't think the Eagles will do that to their new offensive coaching staff. So, to be honest with you, that's another reason why I don't think he's back. That's just one guy's opinion. MP says Cutter Gauthier was a, yeah. Yeah, he was. And and we've lamented over that a couple times on this program recently. Cutter Gauthier was that guy. And of course, we drove him out of here. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He was that guy. You're absolutely right. And we had him. Amazing. Amazing. Flyers haven't played a playoff game in their own building since 2018. Exactly. Yeah, because in 2020, they were down there in, was it Disneyland in the bubble? Yeah. 6 years going on, man. And it'll probably be 6 years because they won't make the playoffs this year. I'm telling you, until Danny B pulls the trigger on the big one, the John LeClair trade. You guys remember that? That changed the Flyers franchise. Back in 94, right? Was it 94? Yeah. 95? 95. Sending Mark Recchi, a beloved fan favorite, an offensive powerhouse for this team, to the Montreal Canadiens for, it turned out to be 2 all-time Flyers, John LeClair and Eric Desjardins. Until the Flyers make something like that happen, this is what they are. Because they're just not, they're not going to ever be able to, kick it into that next level. And you're going to have to break a couple eggs to get to that omelet, man. And those eggs, Travis Konecny's got to be as good as gone. And it's not because I don't like Travis. I think he's a great player, and I thank him for all his years of service. He's got a lot of tread left on his tire, but he just doesn't have that much tread left on this tire. He doesn't fit the Flyers' plan. Travis Konecny is got to be, and again, maybe it's not a deadline deal you make. Maybe this is more of a summer deal you make. But if Travis Konecny is not top of the Flyers trade list this summer, then maybe Danny B needs to be fired. Maybe he's not the right guy for this job. Maybe he's, I get it. You want to do this the right way. You don't want to cut corners on rebuilding this team. You're focusing on winning a cup, not making the playoffs. I 100% agree with that. But how much patience do you think this fan base is going to have for a 15-year rebuild? For sending us into a situation like they had in Buffalo, where they hadn't made the playoffs in like 30 years. They're about to make the playoffs this year, by the way. But how much patience is this fan base going to have for a 15-year rebuild? We're not going to have it. You're not going to turn this into Anaheim. You're not going to turn this into Buffalo, Detroit. We're not going to put up with that. And Danny B will not last that long. He's got to make the move. He's got to make that trade. He's got to take the safety off And he's going to have to start throwing stuff against the wall and see if it sticks and get creative. With trading some of these guys, it has to happen. Is there some pieces here? Yes. But that's all. We have pieces. We don't have nothing to anchor those pieces down. We have no foundation. We have nothing right now. We just got a bunch of pieces. And something needs to be brought here to bring it all together. And he's got to make that trade. He's got to make that deal. And it's got to be a priority this summer because it's just not there free agency. They got the money, just don't got the players. Connect deserves to be traded tomorrow to a contender. If they can make a move, yeah. Multiple first-round picks, couple of high prospect AHL players, yeah, I'd make the move. Absolutely. Again, nothing negative about Travis Konechny. I would love to have him if I was a team in a different place than the Flyers. Let's head back to the phones. Michael Papernick joins us. Mike, what's up?
Yo, what up, Matty?
How you been, man?
Well, I'm all right. Just, I'm off work next 2 nights, so I just been busy. So, normally I'm done work doing my job by 8, and I'm just sitting around. But last couple of days have been kind of hectic. Let me just say this to you. I heard you say about AJ Brown and all them teams that don't make sense. Here's the difference. If Cleveland wanted them, I'm getting one of their picks. I'm getting the higher pick.
Yeah, but would they want him though? Would they want him?
Well, I'm just if they're trying to build around Shedeur Sanders, why wouldn't you? Your defense is built. Your defense is built already. Why wouldn't you go out and try to get a top receiver to put out there and then bring back that tight end that supposedly the Eagles like? That whatever his name is, it's the alphabet name, So but you see where I'm going. Why wouldn't you?
Listen, you got to look at it. I look at it this way, Mike.
Are they going to win now?
The NFL, right? People know what's going on in the NFL, right? They see things. They're inside. I don't think AJ Brown. I don't think a team like Cleveland or the Raiders right now are in a position to put up with AJ Brown, all the extra baggage he brings for a potential maybe Super Bowl run in 3 years. AJ Brown needs to go to a team that's poised to make that run right now in order to get max value from AJ Brown. And anything other than that is a gamble on the team that's picking him up. And as a GM, personally, if I was the GM of the Cleveland Browns, which I don't know how the hell that would ever happen, but if I was there for the GM of the Cleveland Browns, I would blow my brains out before I brought AJ. I wouldn't want that. I got so much other disaster on my hands. I don't need a prima donna coming in here telling me how to do things. I don't want to deal with that. And I don't think we have a quarterback in Cleveland right now. I'm not sold on Shedeur. I don't think anybody is really sold on him. So right now, AJ Brown to me is a luxury for a team like Cleveland, Arizona, teams like that. Baltimore, he makes sense. The Bills, he makes a lot of sense. The Patriots, he makes Broncos, teams like that, he makes perfect sense.
Well, the Broncos, unless you're getting Sutton back.
I know
because they got two good wide receivers. Now what I mean is, I wouldn't turn. Listen, whoever comes with the highest offer is where he's going.
Yeah,
that's all. That's so. Yeah. If it's Arizona, so be it. If it's New England, so be it. If it's the Raiders, so be it. I don't care. I'm just the reason why I say Cleveland because they got 2 first-round picks.
Yeah,
Dallas, Kansas City now.
The Giants
and I don't know, but I know Dallas. Okay, Dallas, Cleveland. I know that Kansas City has now. There might be one more team in there somewhere. I don't know. But you see where I'm going with that, like. You get one of their picks, but me personally, I think he's going. I think he's going to be in New England. Why would you get rid of? I get why they got rid of Diggs. I understand it, right? But he had 80-some catches for that team. You know what I mean? So they're gonna want that guy. So you're gonna. I think they put out the biggest thing. Does Ravens need him? Yes. To go with that other wide receiver they got that's really good, and you got Henry
Flowers.
But yeah. So, but here's the thing. To me, the Ravens have underachieved since they got Henry. They got Henry to beat Kansas City to control the play. They still can't do it. So he makes more sense for New England. That's why they got rid of Diggs. But if New England's smart right now, this is what you do. I go outside Tyreek Hill, put him in the slot, and then make the trade for AJ Brown. If Baltimore's smart, go get Tyreek Hill. Put him. He ain't gonna be ready yet. Put him in the slot. He ain't gonna. He's not that number 2 guy. He had the number. You put him in the slot. He's still got speed. He can still beat everybody else. 80% of Tyreek Hill is probably better than half the wide receiver in the NFL. That's my opinion. Mm-hmm. Can't speak on everybody else's, but that's what I'm saying. Like you could go down that line with that. You know what I mean? But now saying that AJ Brown, because they brought all these young coaches on, AJ Brown. The only person I think he's really given a bunch of crap to is nobody. I haven't heard him yell. I haven't seen him heard anything about him and Petula going at it, or him and Brian Johnson. The only thing I ever saw was the book, and him and Jalen Hurts and Sirianni running into his face. So I don't know if he's really that much of a headache. Maybe I'm wrong. With the coaches, maybe it's just the head coach. The snake in the grass is still there.
There's also the locker room drama, all the stuff leaking out. Was it AJ Brown that was leaking stuff? Violating the inner sanctum of that locker room. There was the giving up on plays allegedly out there on the field. I mean, this is all evaluated when you bring in players. When you want to add them to your mix. You're right, but listen. With all that being said, what are the? I mean, you've mentioned a lot of teams. You mentioned New England. Are you sold on the fact that AJ won't be here? He'll be somewhere else?
Yeah, I think Howie's going to try. He's going to try to get more picks. I think Howie, if he can get a first round, I think he's trying to make a big move. He gets a first round pick. He might trade them too
this year.
Yeah, and so try to move up.
He'll take the cap hit.
Yeah, I think he will. The only thing I can think of, if they take unless they do the 2 first round picks and do what they did when they got Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, you don't have to pay them guys for 3 to 4 years, 3 to 5. You don't want to. Yeah. So you're saving money.
And they sucked up a cap hit he's done it before with Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? He did that with Carson. So I agree. I honestly think, and I don't know if he'll go into this period. And I know he's been allegedly fielding calls on AJ Brown as we speak, but I think something's going to happen on day 1 of the draft. Someone's going to come in at the last minute and offer him a mega deal, and he's going to take it.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, Andy Reid just traded away his best defensive back.
Yep.
He only had 6 picks going into the draft. Now he's got 2 first round, a 6th and a 7th, I think, or whatever. He's got 9 picks now. With the go 7 and 2 first round picks, and he got another pick for next year. Now it worked out for the Rams, man. With that defensive line, you get a guy who can lock down a receiver. You know what I mean? Receivers that helps them out. But Andy was smart like that, so I think Howie, knowing he's got Devontae Smith, he could draft the wide receiver. Or maybe he's got a plan where he's going to maybe he's got a plan to trade for a receiver. I don't know. Or he's probably going to draft one. I think he drafts one. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah, because if he signs one, he tips his hand, and then that's like David Orlovsky territory, and then we got a big problem. But it's an interesting situation to be in.
Or they could go back. Or how's this? Maybe they draft that kid Sadiq and sign Goddard. They're going to a 2 tight end offense, 1 back and 1 receiver. I mean, maybe that's what they're going to do. You know what I mean? Because Sadiq is just basically a big wide receiver, from what I understand. I really don't know much about the kid, but from what I read, he's ran under a 4.4.
Yeah,
and he's 200
combine for a tight end ever, I guess.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. So he's basically a wide receiver in a tight end body.
And says how he's not trading him to an NFC team. I disagree. I mean, I think whoever the best offer is. I mean, that might not be what Howie wants to do, but if someone comes in off the top rope and offers him like 5 first round picks or whatever, yeah, I think he does it. I don't think he'll care who he trades him to, honestly.
Now, also with AJ Brown, New England's the best fit. You got to say that. Come on, he talks about New England 7 days a week.
I think Buffalo's the best fit for him.
Okay. Well, what I mean is because they don't have that receiver up there. Now, Howie's salivating. Look what they got for DJ Moore.
Yeah. 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 No.
So he's salivating. I mean, if Howie don't get what he's just not going to give him away. So I mean, there's a possibility he still could be here. You know, if no team wants to pony up. Yeah. You know. Now, for a down year, he still had 1,000-yard receiving. I mean, so it is what it is. I'll put it like this. I think it's. I just heard the Ravens say, so I go New England, and then I go Bills 2 and Ravens 3. To be honest with you, because if the Bills got AJ Brown to go DJ Moore, no Bill fans are ever. I want to hear an excuse out of their mouth that you got no offense in.
Well, and that's exactly why I think that people are writing off the Bills on this. I think that's what I mean. Look at the optics up there. They're opening up a new stadium. Josh Allen ain't getting any younger, and people are tired of hearing about the no weapons. And people in Buffalo are tired of reading about the no weapons. I think they go all in. They have an opportunity to get AJ. They already brought in the other wide receiver. I think this is the year that they're going all in to get Josh Allen that Super Bowl. I really do.
Well, I mean, they got the Eagles. Well, if that's it, then the Eagles can hold them hostage. Give me that first-round pick. If they got a second-round pick for DJ Moore, you got to. I'm getting a first-rounder for AJ Brown.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You drive it up on him.
The only thing I can think of, unless Howie suckers a team into like 3 second round, like a second, third, a second, and a third, something like that. You know what I mean? Suckers a team to give you. So now you got 2 second rounds this year. It's 3 or 4 third rounders. They got a whole bunch of third round picks. You know what I mean? If somebody offered probably 2 years of picks like that, you might not want to turn it down.
If I'm Buffalo, I would easily give up a first round pick for AJ Brown. I mean, easily. I wouldn't even bat an eyebrow about it. Yeah, sure. I'll give you a first round pick. I wouldn't care because he's like a first round pick. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at it that way. And I'm looking at it giving Josh Allen that weapon.
What's funny about Buffalo is I don't know why they can't spend money. Their owner owns the Sabres and he owns the Bills. And you know what's funny about that? Maybe, just correct me if I'm wrong. I thought even though it's just a 2 team up there, I thought one owner could monopolize the city.
I don't think that's really. I know of somebody that's doing it here in this little town.
No, I mean like every team. Like I'm talking, he owns both sports teams.
It's an open market. I don't really think there's
really.
I
thought there was at one person. Okay, so that's what I mean. It's like I was telling my buddy today. You hear all these owners say, "I'm losing money." You're losing money on it. I'll use the Pittsburgh Pirates. You're losing the money on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, you're going to lose money. But you got to overspend to make money. The Bills don't have to overspend. That guy's got money.
Oh yeah,
go out, like you said,
opening a stadium for God's sakes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but it's on tax. Yeah, we got the tax. It's on taxpayers' money. A lot of it.
I know, but he's still going to make a lot of money off that. Listen, you're right. And as far as the Pirates thing go, and obviously a conversation another day, the CBA and the salary cap in baseball. I don't want a salary cap in baseball. The hell with them. If you don't want to spend the money, then you should be a last place team. Let these players get what these owners want to pay for them. I think a salary cap is terrible for baseball. 100%.
Did you see Bryce Harper smiling next to Aaron Judge?
I saw that yesterday. Or was that against the Giants the other day? Yeah, in the dugout. Yeah, man, the man was happy.
I wonder what Schwarber's sitting. He ain't sitting by Schwarber, is he?
No, he ain't. Nowhere near him. Nowhere near him.
I ain't saying that's a problem, but like, your media could make something happen.
Absolutely.
I saw. Now here's the thing. What do you think about the Eagles? Howie does make the trade for AJ Brown, and they swing that around and get Max Crosby.
No, that would be nice. That would be, yeah. That would.
Maybe they could. Now if the Eagles got 2 first rounders, maybe they swing it where they can get the tight end in there. Maybe Nolan Smith goes over there because I heard Nolan Smith's a possible trade candidate. Because it'll be cheap, but if they pick up his options, like $15 million. I think Nolan Smith's an option. And the one thing they said in the article, this little article, they said that he's not durable. We all know that. He's 240 pounds playing edge. He's not an edge rusher. I'd run the ball at him all day. I just run him over. He'll be dead. He'll be dead by 5 minutes into the game.
Is Nolan Smith a bust at 30 overall, first round pick?
No. I don't think he was a bust. I actually think he would have had he would have had a really good year if he didn't have that injury from last year that kind of like, I guess, hobbled it when he tore his bicep tendon.
Yeah, well, that's
in
part
the
of
Super
being
Bowl.
A good player is not getting hurt. I mean, look at what's his name? Look at what's his face?
Well, Harper gets hurt. Hurt. You could be in the best shape and you get hurt.
Who's the linebacker? That's a free agent.
Oh, Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean. When he's on the field, the guy's a difference maker. The problem is he can't stay on the field. That's a problem.
Here's the thing. Here's where the Eagles have to be. They got to be a little smart. Zach Braun's only got, after this year, one more year left on his contract. He only signed a 3-year deal. You got I would sign Nakobe Dean, be honest with you. I would. Just interchange them because you never know. Zach Braun might be going next year. Howie might be like, all right, you're a casual here. We got Dean and we got Campbell out there. That's all I need.
Yeah, but you also have Jihad Campbell. You have Jihad Campbell.
That's what I said. Campbell.
Well, let's see. Well, you still consider Trotter part of this, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, he'd be a backup, but I'm talking Dean could slide in he could do both of them when they decide, okay, either maybe next year, the end of this year, all right, Braun didn't have a good year to let him go because he's a higher cap hit. Yeah. But he's only got 1 year after that left on his contract. I don't see how he's signing him back. You got Dean, you could slide Jihad over, or you keep Dean in the middle, either one. So I would sign him, and I'd let Jalen Phillips walk. I think that's going to be the worst move Howie's going to make. What killed the Eagles this year is Jalen Hunt didn't have Josh Sweat and his 13 sacks on the other side to take the pressure off him and take the pressure off Jalen Carter. Yeah. Phillips is just a bigger. When I say a bigger Nolan Smith, that's always he's only going to give you 7 to 8 sacks. That's not helping.
That cost you a third-round draft pick this year. And as far as Nakobe Dean goes, I don't think the Eagles re-sign him because I think they have questions about his durability, and I don't think he gets re-signed because of that. Mike, listen, I got to cut you off, man.
Okay, you have a good night, man.
We'll talk next week. All right.
Sunday?
No, Wednesday.
Okay, next Wednesday. Okay, I'm at work. Right. I'll try to get on. All right.
Yeah, I got to do some traveling. All right, Mike. Listen, Howie Roseman does have his work cut out. I 100% agree. I don't think Nakobe Dean's back because I think there's a durability issue there with him. They don't want to give him the big money with that durability problem. I think Nolan Smith is an absolute bust as a first-round draft pick because you're looking to move him off of you're looking to trade him before his contract's up. Jihad Campbell, obviously the school's still out on him. We don't know. Did not have a good rookie year. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. May not even be on the Eagles next year. He's absolutely been a bust, too undersized in my opinion. Zach Braun, and that's a name that we haven't really talked about. You notice that's a name that really wasn't brought up much this season. He did not have the All-Pro year that he had in 24. And I knew that was going to happen. I 100% knew that was going to happen. I knew Zach Braun was playing well above his level in 24. And I think he was a byproduct of the pass rush that the Eagles had. Not to say that Zach Braun did not have a solid season, but he didn't have the season that I think a lot of people wanted him to have in 2025. And but as far as having a piece in place for next year, at least, Zach Braun's probably the best option here. But Howie's got his work cut out for him, man. 100% with a lot of different things. And we'll obviously get more into this. Nobody wants to talk about baseball, man. Come on, man. You guys are killing me, man. My football brain is off. All right, listen, I am going to wrap it up. I don't know if Mike is waiting on me. I hope he's not. But I am going to wrap this show up. We will get back next week. I will see you probably I don't know where I'll be in the world next week when I see you again. But it'll either be in Kentucky or Virginia. I'll see you next. So it'll be on Wednesday. But make sure you're checking in on everything else that's happening on the network, all the other shows. We had an off week again with a lot of different shows, a lot of different things going on, scheduling conflicts. People got sick. I got wrapped up in life. all those things happen. So I do apologize, but we'll try to do better. We are coming out of that time of the year. It is time to get it going again, and we know that here. It's almost like I'm looking at this period as like the vacation time for a lot of people. Kind of getting ready for the run of April. The second. You look at October and April as being probably the two biggest and busiest sports months here on this network. Looking like the Flyers will not be part of April again. We'll see. Trade deadline tomorrow. We'll see where Danny B goes with that. They got to make that trade. Now, I'm not saying that has to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow is all about being a seller. I'm not sure if you can, and you're limited to what teams you can move players to right now. You're limited to teams that you're going to trade players to teams that are in contention. So there's not much really that you can, you're not getting high draft picks for these guys. So we'll see where the Flyers come out on the trade deadline tomorrow. And WBC, great. I'm glad it's here. Team USA tomorrow against Brazil, and on Saturday against Great Britain. There's a game going on right now, actually. So make sure you're tuned into that. And all the other great things that are happening on the network for the rest of the week. And here you are tomorrow, nothing. So there you go. I got nothing tomorrow, but on Saturday we'll get back at it, and on Sunday as well. So make sure you're tuned in, and we'll be doing our best for you guys. So until we talk again, thank you for your patience this week. I am sorry that we weren't. We'll get into the card review and the other night segment next week, I promise. But until we talk again, have a great weekend. I'm out of here.